They say courage is rare, but that's not true. Courage is everywhere. Cheap, diluted, loud. Every man claims to have it until it costs him something. Leonidas was different. He was born in a place where comfort was a crime, where weakness was exile, where every boy was taught one truth before he could even speak. You are born to bleed. Sparta didn't raise men, it forged them. They say he led 300 warriors against thousands, that he stood in the shadow of annihilation and smiled, that he died defending his homeland. But that's not the whole story. Leonidas didn't fight to live. He fought because death was the only currency left worth spending. He understood what most men never will, that immortality isn't about living forever. It's about dying for something that deserves your life. The Persians came with an ocean of men. Xerxes, the self-proclaimed god king, offered him wealth, power, safety. Bow to me, he said, and your people will live. Leonidas looked him in the eyes and laughed. Come and take it. That's not bravado, that's clarity. The kind of clarity only a man who's already dead inside can have. Dead to comfort, dead to fear, dead to compromise. He didn't choose death, he chose meaning, because there's something worse than dying, living without a reason. Every man today wants to survive, to make money, to be safe, to exist quietly enough to avoid pain. But Leonidas didn't want to survive. He wanted to matter. And here's the cruel truth. Men who chase survival disappear. Men who chase purpose become eternal. Sparta trained him to obey one law, victory or death. But Leonidas discovered something higher, honor beyond both. He knew he couldn't win. He knew the odds. But he also knew that history doesn't remember numbers. It remembers defiance. So he stood at Thermopylae, the hot gates where the mountains narrowed and the gods watched in silence. 300 against the impossible. And when the Persians came, wave after wave, he didn't ask for mercy. He gave them hell. Every spear that fell, every shield that broke was a message written in blood. You may kill us, but you will never conquer us. And that's what power truly is. Not domination, not victory, but the ability to choose your own end. Leonidas owned his death. He made it his weapon. He made it his statement. And the world still echoes with it. Men today live longer, but smaller. They are surrounded by comfort and starved of purpose. They are addicted to pleasure, but allergic to sacrifice. They mistake safety for strength. But the truth is, safety is the slowest form of death. Leonidas understood something modern men forgot, that the body dies once, but the soul dies every time you say yes to something you don't believe in. He refused that kind of death, so he chose another. He didn't die defending a wall. He died defending the idea that a man should not kneel. That's the real war. Not between armies, but between submission and defiance, between comfort and conviction, between living long and living true. And Leonidas chose truth, even if it killed him. Imagine that moment, the heat of the battlefield, arrows blackening the sky, every breath heavier than the last. You know you're going to die, but you keep fighting anyway. Not for victory, not for fame, just to prove that your spirit cannot be broken. That's the power of dying for something, Because once a man decides what he's willing to die for, he becomes unstoppable. There's nothing left to threaten him with. No fear, no manipulation, no chains, only fire. Leonidas knew fear, but he turned it into fuel. He taught his men that pain is not the enemy. The enemy is hesitation. He told them, "Give the gods a show worth watching." And they did. 300 men against an empire. 300 names carved into eternity. They fell one by one, but their defiance outlived the empire that killed them. What is your Thermopylae? Where do you stand when the odds are impossible? What do you refuse to kneel to? Every man faces that gate. Maybe not with swords and shields, but with choices, lies and fear. The modern war is silent. No banners, no trumpets, just you, alone, against the comfort that's trying to erase your edge. Every time you choose the easy path, you surrender another inch of your spirit. And one day you'll wake up safe, but empty. Leonidas wasn't safe. He was alive. He didn't measure life in years. He measured it in impact. In the echo left behind when your bones are dust. His death wasn't defeat. It was proof. Proof that one man with conviction is stronger than 1,000 without it. There's something beautiful about that kind of death because it's honest. It's clean. It's the moment where everything fake burns away and only the truth remains. And that truth is simple. A man who stands for nothing dies for nothing. But a man who dies for something never really dies. History crowned Xerxes as the god king of Persia, but his empire is dust. Leonidas's name still alive. That's power. That's legacy. That's immortality, earned the hard way. Because gods don't grant immortality. They envy it. They look down at men like Leonidas and whisper, "How did he become one of us?" You want to know what separates the ordinary from the legendary? It's not birth, talent, or luck. It's the willingness to bleed for something greater than yourself. The coward dies in pieces every day. The warrior dies once and becomes legend. Leonidas knew that, and that's why we still speak his name, while kings, empires, and gods have turned to ash. So here's the question: what are you willing to die for? What belief, what dream, what truth would you defend, even when the world calls you a fool? Because until you answer that, you're not really alive. You're just waiting to be forgotten. Leonidas wasn't born a god. He became one. The moment he accepted that death is the price of freedom. That's not tragedy. That's transcendence. Better to die on your feet than live forever on your knees.